Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Sudip Maiti, early career designer. Welcome to Classroom to Boardroom Talk Show, episode number 7. We have gathered here to enlighten you about the different ways by which the transition happened from classroom to boardroom, and we will discuss about the hurdles and challenges that come along the way. Take charge of your career. Also, listen to the different eminent person who have excelled in their own field. Today we have invited one of the industry's great leader who has more than 2 decades of IT experience and currently performing a role of senior product head. He would also provide guidance for the people aspiring to have a career in product management. Let me welcome Mr. Kohinoor Verma in this talk show. Welcome, Kohinoor, in this talk show. So,
Thanks, Sudeep.
yeah, would you mind to introduce yourself, Kohinoor, about yourself?
Yes, so I'm Kohinoor Verma. I'm heading up a product in the IoT area. I'm based out of Stockholm, Sweden. It's been a long journey, starting from being an architect or a developer for to start with soon after college, and then moving into sales and finally landing up to product management. And after a few years in product management, now I'm heading up a product team. So that has been my journey so far.
Great, great, Kohinoor. Listen to you. Yeah. So, I just want to know about your journey. You are a product manager. How do you land in this product management?
Yeah, I mean it's a evolution journey which I would say most of the people who land up in product management go through. Like when I was a developer, I reached maybe the highest level I could think, which was being an architect because I'm a technology guy, and I thought I want to do something new. And what could I do? I got an opportunity to move to sales, and it was an eye-opening experience because being a technology guy and doing sales, starting with technical sales, moving into business sales, closing deals, it was a real eye-opener. I learned a lot of things. And then after a few years, started thinking again, what should I do? Where can I use my technical experience and my sales experience together? And I thought maybe product management is where I could do that, do justice to, which that's how I landed up into product management. And that's where I am still after maybe 10, 12 years.
Good. So, can you please briefly explain what is this product management is all about?
It's a very interesting question. Many people really don't understand, especially I would say in India, because India, the service industry is still the biggest industry where we or most IT professionals want work towards creating or serving a customer or client. But it's opening up. India, there are many new product companies or many product companies that are coming up, especially if you watch Star Tank. These are all like products that they want to launch, and there are so many multi-million crore companies. Product management, basically, a product manager is a person who owns the vision of the product in a way. Or it could be a vision of the CEO of the company or the company as such, but he is instrumental in translating that vision into strategy, which are basically steps um, on or plans or goals or sequence of events which will reach the vision of the product. Not only that, he also has divides us into like smaller steps. What do we need to do to reach this particular strategic goal that we have put ahead for ourselves in order to reach the vision? So you have the product vision, you have the product strategy, and you can see the smaller steps, which you may call it as a roadmap of the product. They all combine together. It's what product management is. How do we translate small meaningful steps in terms of a roadmap for a product to reach a particular goal? And in doing so, product management has a crew. He's not working alone because he might have a team of product managers, but he or she will interface with a lot of people, a lot of different groups. For example, once you think of something, then you need to know whether it is technically possible. So there's an engineering team. Once it's not enough that you get it built through the engineering team, you have to launch it in the market. Then you have the marketing team. Then of course you have to sell it. Then you have the sales team. So it's the product manager in a way is the spider in the web who keeps all these people together, all these different teams together towards achieving the common goal or common vision of the product. So that's what the product manager does.
So do you think that that means the product manager, he is taking care of the revenue of that particular product as well? Is it
Yes,
the
our
correct
product
case? Yeah.
manager mostly they would be profit and loss responsible for the product.
Okay.
It's how does the product would the product make a profit? Definitely return of investment as well. How
Correct.
much you need to invest to be profitable? How which markets to launch in so that you can get early success. So those all decisions are product management decisions.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What do you feel about this career path? If someone has to take this particular career path, what are the things he has to follow basically?
Yeah, I would say that product management would unlikely be the first career step of any person. And there's a very famous person called Martin Erickson. He's in some ways one of the gurus of product management. And what he says that he says that there is a if you think of a Venn diagram with three circles which are intersecting with each other, you have usability, how a consumer uses your product. It could be an app, or it could be just a general interface, or even not even an interface interaction with the product. Like a bank have a loan as a product. So how does do you get a loan? The whole process around it could be a usability around it. So if you go back to the Venn diagram, you have three parts. You have usability, you have technology, and you have business. Usability, like I explained, technology, what technical things do we need to have to fulfill, to create that product, and of course, business, what kind of market you are going in, what kind of returns are you going to have. If you product management is in the intersection of these three, so he should be knowledgeable, of course, of all these three, and most likely he should be have hands-on experience in at least one of these: usability, business, or technology. So passionate about all three, knowledgeable about all three, and experience at least of one of these: usability, technology, and business. So that is where I believe product managers, successful product managers, should have as a career path. Start with one of these, like I did. For example, I started with technology, then I very quickly moved to business, which is sales in a way. And I thought, I still think that I have a very good understanding of usability. So I combine these all three together, being a product manager. So in my mind, you likely should get experience in one of these three before you decide that now it is the time to take the plunge to become a product manager.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. So, yep. So the audience, so do if you have any query, particular query, you can drop the message into the comment box. So I couldn't see as of now any comments from the anyone. So if you have any query, so you can post it here, so I can clarify with Mr. Kohinoor Verma. So he is the product head with one of the IT company. So he may clarify your query. Yep. So, yep. So let me go back to the questions about this product related to this product manager. So what skill do you need to become a product manager? Is there any specific skills, or you told at least the technical skills as well as the sales, and these are the all the skills is required as to become a product manager, or
Yeah,
what
no,
is this?
definitely, like I explained, usability, technology, and business. Those are you need to have understanding for these three. But eventually, when you start creating products, you need certain skills. The most important thing is how you interact with people, because you are in the middle of a lot of different organizations or people, and you need to make sure that they listen to you and you listen to them, because the feedback comes from these different groups internally and externally from the market, from the customers. So you have to be a good listener. You have to be a good person who can talk to a different people. So people management skills. Stakeholder management are great to have. Then specifically from product management, you need to understand what are you building, what market are you building, what industry are you targeting, a know-how of that. That is one of the most important skills that you need to develop, and you are the face of the product, kind of a mini CEO of the product. So you need to understand all of these together with the numbers. How are you going to reach the market? What numbers do you want to, from a sales point of view? What is your budget? Because someone owns the budget in your company, or you own it yourself. You're given a budget, so you need to know the numbers. One of the most interesting, and I always tell this to everyone, that you have to be a storyteller, because most of the products, you don't sell what you have, you tell a story. And you have to tell a story where people listen and say, wow, this sounds like a good story. And of course, you can follow it up with a demo or something, then it really has have people thinking. Once you have started developing product management and you're developing a product, the most important skill that would be the most useful for your product management work is going to be prioritizations. Because anytime you will have, say, 10, 20 things you would like to do, but you don't have the capacity or the capability to do it. So you will be always asked, oh, can you please prioritize? And how would you prioritize? You need to prioritize based on what your numbers are, based on which customer are you targeting, which industry, how are you getting the return of investment, all these different things. So prioritization is one of the key skills in my mind as well. So if I just summarize, knowing your numbers, knowing your market, have a good understanding what people want to see, know your customers, your internal stakeholders, and lastly, prioritization. And these are all like skills that our product management need to have, other than the three big basic things that I talked about: the usability, business, and technology.
Thank you. So I'm just asking in my mind, one quick query came. Is there any specific degree is required to become a product manager or no? The
Ui.
basic engineering is good enough.
I mean, I actually don't know. I- I'm sure there are many courses that you could do to become a product manager, but you have to have your basics right. Either you can come from an engineering background, or you can come from a sales background, or you can come from a usability background. Does not really matter. But I think a degree is good. And once you want to get into product management, there are many courses that you can do, add on out there with very credible institutes that you can do product management courses around too. So, but I'm not aware if there is a degree anywhere like a bachelor's degree in product management. I don't think there is one that exists. Maybe now it
Okay.
does, because
Yeah. Correct. Correct. So yeah. So in terms of this product management, so I'm just moving into this IoT part. What is IoT and how does it work? So if you can explain, so as per my knowledge, so I believe so you are working in this IoT area. So if you can explain to my audience about this IoT part, so it will be the really great for them, I believe.
Yeah, IoT, as you know, it means Internet of Things. What does that mean? That means that anything is connected. It could be your fridge in your home. You have devices like Alexa. You have devices like Google. You could have your ring bell at home, your cameras, anything that is connected. It's an IoT device, and that's the basic definition. Now, there could be different ways they are connected. Um, there are basically three, four different types of IoT. You have the short range, which is basically Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So you are controlling things with your Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. So that's the short range. Then you have the wide range, which is more like cellular connectivity, or or you have LoRa, or now you have Sigfox, or Sigfox now is filing for bankruptcy, but you have LoRa kind of wide range connectivity. Then you have the longer range, which is mostly cellular connectivity, like you have your mobile phones. So you could have devices that have a chip inside, a SIM card inside. Then you have also in long range, you have the satellite way of communication. So you could directly be connecting to the satellite and have it connected. So different ways to connect a device or a thing, as it called in IoT. And once it is connected, you are typically it's an IoT device. Sorry, you are muted, Sudeep.
Yeah. I'm just asking one thing. So what I feel that, so yeah, so you are absolutely correct about this IoT, what you have told. Yeah, it's really helpful for my audience. But the thing is that I just want to know, I already asked to you the same questions. So do you think there's the product development? Is it a good career? So as per your past experience and all, if you can elaborate on that particular part, so that would be really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good question that you asked. I mean, I have been an engineer when I started, and sometimes you wonder why are we doing on what we are doing as an engineer, because you are working on a requirement, developing or coding, um, and to able to understand why are you doing on what you are doing, you need to understand there is someone making a decision based on which you are doing what you are doing. And I used to wonder, why is he or she making this decision? Because when you are at the lowest level of the chain, or not the lowest, but still working on something, you likely will not have that visibility. I mean, at least as a fresher, I did not have that visibility. As you move along, you started to understand that these people, so-called product managers, they are making this decision because this is the strategy we want to launch in this market. We want to do things like this. And I have always used to say there's a lot of power that you have as a product manager, because you are, like I said, a mini CEO, and you decide based on certain facts, based on certain needs, what needs to be done. And this powered decision that you have made drills down to the lowest soldier that you have, which likely is a coder who is doing coding as well. So I always thought that given a chance, I want to move into product management where I could be the decision maker there. But if you fast forward a few years, when I became a product manager, it actually dawns on me that I'm not the powerhouse. I'm rather a slave in a way. Like, I make decisions what the market wants, what the company wants. uh, Even though from outside an engineer would think this is why I made a decision, but it is really driven by the needs of the market, the needs of the customers, the needs of the product. So it's not all powerful job. Yes, you are the one making the decision, but these are all data based decision, facts based decision. You're doing so because there is a need to be done so. Very rarely you will make decisions that are not based on data but instinct. That does happen. Sometimes you have to put your foot down and say that, okay, in spite what the data is telling us, our instinct tell us that we should do so and so. But that comes with experience. But yeah, so that was as a young engineer of 22 when I started coding. That's what I used to think, that I want to be in a position where these decisions are made. And then fast forward a few years, I became the person who was making the decision. But this was a different story, a different view than what an engineer used to think.
Correct, correct, correct. Absolutely, absolutely. So, as you told, so we are talking about the IoT part, correct? So, can IoT work without internet? Is it possible? What is your opinion in that particular part?
Yeah, depends what you see. My answer would be no. But if you think about it, if you have a speaker at home, and the speaker
Yeah,
does not have internet, but you can still play a song on the speaker, based on Bluetooth. Either from your phone, you might have a song that is downloaded, or you are streaming. If you're streaming, then obviously you're using the internet. But if you have a downloaded song that you're playing on a Bluetooth on a speaker, then it's not connected. But that is too theoretical. I don't think it can. I don't think IoT can exist without internet in a way, because at some point in time you need some kind of connection, because that is what whole I why do we have IoT? I mean, that's, let's try to understand that. We need IoT because it makes life easy. When we say IoT, traditionally we would mean devices that are used for business, not a speaker in your home, not a ring bell in your home. These are all consumer devices. But traditionally, IoT is used for business devices, the devices that are used in factories or by these different companies, like a temperature sensor in a water treatment plant, a water sensor in the same plant, or a sensor in a tube well, or a pump, water pump, which has a small device fit in, which tells you whether it is functioning properly or not. These are all IoT use cases because these are connected devices used for business. So, and why do we need that? Because we want to make sure that we get to know when faults occur. For example, if the water pressure is not right, I sitting here in my home should be able to know that. um, I might be a push or a pull. I could go in on an app and check the water pressure, or I should would be notified on my phone or on my email. Oh, the water pressure has just dropped. And why do we need to do it? To get to know, because we cannot be where the device is all the time. So if there is no internet, there is no point of having an IoT device, because it is there. IoT is there to make your life easy. And especially if you think about it, this whole pandemic that we have, this has actually accelerated the adoption of IoT, because people want to do much more sitting at home. So they are fitting more and more IoT devices in the machines that they use, in the devices that they use around for their business, so that they can control everything from one point, or multiple people can control for wherever they are sitting. So in I would say IoT cannot exist without connection, but without internet connection. But there could be different ways for IoT. Now, I would differentiate between two main kinds of IoT devices. One is cellular IoT, like your mobile phone, and again, this is a consumer device. But on the other hand, you might have a sensor that is on a water treatment plant that directly communicates, that has a SIM inside, directly communicates through the telco provider. So that's cellular connectivity. On the other hand, what do we do when you want to put a sensor somewhere and there is no cellular connectivity, like an oil rig in the middle of the ocean, where you are taking out, you have your equipment, but there is no cellular connectivity in the middle of the ocean. Then you rely on satellite IoT, and these days it's not that expensive. It's getting cheaper by the day. Uh, People can provide you with the connectivity through satellite, which you could use. So that could be another way of using IoT, which is through satellite. So cellular IoT and um, satellite IoT are two of the prominent ways of using IoT now, and both of them, they have to have internet, or eventually, for its benefit, you have to have connection to the internet.
Definitely, definitely. So those who are watching to us, so if you have any specific query, so you can post here into the comment box, so I can clarify with Mr. Kohinoor Verma. And yeah, that's it. So if you have anything, so post it here in the comment box. As of now, I couldn't see any kind of the query. So those who are watching to us, so please post it without any hesitation. Yeah. So, do you think that I have one query? So, we have our mobile phone, correct mobile device. So, do you think that this mobile device is IoT device?
Um, it- I won't say so because again, I will differentiate between IoT and consumer devices. If you, the mobile phone is a consumer device, I'm using it for my purpose. If I were using this kind of mobile phone for a business, then I would call it an IoT device. Um, so that is the difference I would make. But maybe some people would say that this is an IoT device because ultimately it is connected, but it's a more of a consumer connected device rather than an IoT device in my mind.
Okay, okay, okay. So, can you give few examples of the IoT? So, which will be really helpful so that we can differentiate the what is this IoT is all about. You have already explained to us what is IoT and how does it work. And yeah, if you give few examples of the IoT, so that would be really helpful based on your experience and all.
Yeah, more see these days the biggest IoT industry is the automobile industry, or biggest sector I would say is the automobile sector. Like most of the cars are already fitted with SIM cards when you buy the car. And what is it doing? It is getting data from the functioning of the car, day to day functioning of the car, telematics data on how different parts of the car are behaving. So that's one part. Second, it could also be used to give you internet connection in the car as a consumer. For example, for Spotify or Netflix, if you have passengers sitting in the back seat who wants to watch TV. So that also could be a purpose. Um, so that is, I think, the most relevant use cases or the biggest segment of IoT is the automobile sector, which is then followed by what we call the logistics sector. So shipment going from point A to point B, and you want to track. Like one of the very important use cases or most used is when you are shipping fruits or vegetables. You want to make sure that the temperature is maintained for that particular fruit, or you want to make sure the moisture levels are maintained, and as soon as something happens you get notified, oh, the temperature is such and such or the moisture is such and such in the container, and you could take proactive actions if it is a possibility. Or if the fruit and vegetable goes stale, then you can go back and see why did it go stale. Then you can see it on the IoT device fitted in the container, say, oh, because the temperature dropped or because the moisture dropped, and again you can take corrective options or corrective actions for your next shipment. So these are all logistic related cases. Then you have the third biggest segment, which is utilities, which are the examples I was taking before: hand pumps or not hand pumps, water pumps, temperature sensors. One of the biggest industry there are electric meters. So you have a guy today coming and measuring the meter reading for electric meters. But what is happening in the Western world is that these readings automatically can be measured by someone or a machine or a computer sitting in a data center without the possibility to without the need to visit for someone to visit it. So that is the biggest industry in the utility sector that is coming up. So these are all big use cases of IoT. And now with 5G coming in, it becomes more and more relevant, IoT, because I keep telling people that when we had 4G, the biggest use case for 4G was video, because you get razor sharp images, you get high quality video. And with 5G, the biggest use cases are going to be IoT. More and more things would be connected. And there are two most important things in 5G that will help these connections. That they are reliability and low latency. Like use cases like remote surgery. Uh, a surgeon conducting a surgery sitting miles away, And how is that possible? That is possible if you have a very good connection, a connection that is reliable, that is suited for these critical use cases with low latency. And that's the whole new set of possibilities opened up with 5G coming up. So a lot of new use cases would be coming in the future.
Good, good, good. So, yep. So, anyone have any queries so far? So, if you have any specific queries, so you can post it here in the comment box.
Yeah.
So, we are ready to help you out. If you have any query, if you want to build your career in the IT product management, you can post it here so that we can help you out. So, just Mr. Kohinoor, just I want to know one quick things. So, being an engineer, just pass out from the college, do you think that getting into the product development is it easy for them, or what kind of the things they have to do? So, or the basic degree is good enough, or irrespective of the any of the branch, they can get into the product development.
I guess you mean product management. So, um,
Yeah,
yes, I mean it. Again, my recommendation would never be that you should become a product management as soon as you get of college. But you will have cases. For example, you have startups. A
yeah,
person thinks of an idea and they start implementing it as a founder of a startup. So what this person is, he or she, is acting as a product manager. But I always say, and this could be an engineer fresh out of college, that is okay. But the problem is, once you grow as a founder, you likely will become the CEO or take one of the C-level jobs. You will have obtain number of things you need to do. For example, where is the funding coming from? How to do investor business cases, looking at the market. So it is better that you hire a product manager so that he or she takes care of the product based on the vision as you as a founder has created or the board has created, so that this product manager can focus on creating the product as per the vision, and you can focus on building the business as you have thought of together with the C level. So that is why I believe product managers are a must for any product company. And secondly, they need to bring experience from their education or what they have worked in. They must have some kind of experience in these things. So it is about, if I just maybe take a step back, and I've had these questions many times when many people ask me that what is the difference between a product owner and a product manager? And I mean, it really depends on what kind of company you are in, because some companies use product owner and product manager interchangeably. But if you ask me, and on a what in most industry what they believe in, product owners are really looking internally on how to build the products, whereas product manager are looking internally and externally as well. Like for example, product manager decides on the strategy and the roadmap, and once you have decided on the strategy and roadmap, then the product owner, you hand it over, or you are in a team basically. Product owner takes it forward to create the product. Product owner is more from an agile perspective. You have this role, the product owner, agile or say whatever methodology you have. So vision making is product management. Executing really on the vision and the roadmap is the product owner. Um, it So you have a kind of a difference, and the difference I normally tell people that product management is 75% or strategy, 25% execution, whereas product owner is 75% execution, 25% strategy, and they have to work as a team. In smaller companies you might have the same person or same team doing the same role, product management and product ownership. But in my mind, you should have product owners, because there's a lot of decisions while executing you need to make with the agile teams, and that is best done by someone who works sits together with the product teams that are developing it, and you are there to help to make strategy based decisions whenever these team have any doubts. So that's what product managers do, and that's the differentiation I make. And in my mind, if you want to grow from an engineer to product management, the path you would take is uh, engineer, developer, could be architect, could be product owner. Eventually, you have to become a product owner and then move into product management. So that's the path I would think that you could take, because being a product owner, you start getting into more strategic thinking on why this decision is being made, because you're talking to the product managers, you're talking to the customers. And I should maybe just add a few more layers to this, because this is a very complex area. There's a difference between B2B products and B2C products. Okay, for example, Facebook is a B2C product. Okay, so what you develop, you can, like this, get a feedback on this, because you have just put a new button, say, on Facebook, and as soon as it goes into production, or you are doing A/B testing with limited users, you'll get feedback. Whereas in B2B product, you are selling to a business that would eventually be selling to a consumer or another business, so it may come B2B2B, and the feedback cycle is bit longer. So you might have developed something now, but you will not get that feedback when you release it. You will get it feedback in due course. Sometimes it is 6 months, come sometimes 3 months, come sometimes that's many years. And that is the challenge in B2B. It's more long term thinking. You have to invent ways where you can get quick feedback. There are new terms people are developing, and like, for example, it's called co creation. So you create together with the business on what are their needs. Whereas B2C is always easy to get feedback. I won't say that's that easy. We still have to go through that cycle, but it's quick feedback so that you get feedback and you can improve.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, probably my last questions to you is that is Alexa, do you think is it a IoT?
Uh, yes, it is
Because we are
consumer
using
IoT.
normally nowadays, correct? Alexa for each and every home in India, I could see nowadays they're using the Alexa. So
Yeah,
based on your
in a way,
knowledge,
it is IoT
yeah,
because it is a connected device, but it's a consumer
mm,
IoT device. Uh,
okay.
I'm not sure whether it will go into business IoT as such, but
Mhm.
yeah, consumer IoT, it is an IoT device. There might be a case that in the future Alexa works without Wi-Fi, directly works on a SIM. There might be a case coming in the future. Then it is definitely become a full IoT device. But right now it's a more consumer IoT, consumer device rather than a full-fledged IoT device.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So my last questions to you, so Mr. Kohinoor. So what kind of the message you want to give it to this particular audience, those who are watching to us in terms of this product management, product development? So audience is mostly in terms of their students, they come out from the college, they find try to figure it out what would be the suitable career opportunity for them and in this particular journey. So what kind of the suggestion do you want to give it to them?
See, I mean, I would say, do whenever you're doing anything in your business or you're consuming anything, think of the reason on why that thing has happened. For example, the example I was taking, I was writing a piece of code. Why am I doing what am I doing? Has to be a business reason for them, for me to doing this. If you keep thinking, asking the question why, you will develop certain skills that will be very useful when you grow in becoming a product manager, because you are putting yourself in the shoes of the stakeholders who are making those decisions. So just don't do things because someone has told you to do. Think about why that person has told you to do so, because there has to be a business reason. It's all business driven in the end. And if you start developing that thinking, it will help you long term, uh, and you can eventually end up in product management as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kohinoor, for your time. Yep. So if anyone have any specific questions, so I will give you the 2 minutes more time. So you can post it into the comment box. Okay. So otherwise you will close the show. My name is Sudip Maiti. I'm an early career designer. Mostly I'm doing this particular talk show in every Sunday. So based on my speaker availability, so you can throw your questions into the chat box so that we can place the questions to the guest speaker and he can clarify your query if you have anything in your mind so far. I'll take another few seconds. If nothing is there, we can close the show. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kohinoor, for your time. Yep. So we'll close the show here itself. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks, Sudeep. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye.